Module 3, Lesson 20's objective is to use place value strategies and the associative property to multiply multiples of 10. Item 1. Use the chart to complete the equations, then solve. Item A. 2 times 5 times 10 equals or is the same as 10 ones times 10, which equals or is the same as blank. Whenever we see parentheses in an equation, we do that part first. So here we see 2 times 5. 2 times 5 means 2 groups of 5. And we can see that in the ones column. Here's a group of 5, and here's a group of 5. 2 groups of 5 is the same thing as 10 ones. And that's how they got 10 ones that are written in parentheses below it. Now, whenever we multiply something by 10, it just simply shifts over to the next column. In this case, we'll shift the ones right over to the tens column. That's why they have this arrow here. You'll see that they've also written times 10, so that we know that when we're shifting the picture to the tens column, it's because we're multiplying by 10. So the exact same picture is shifted to the tens column right there. So 2 times 5 times 10 is the same as 10 ones times 10. Now 10 ones times 10 is 10 groups of 10. And we know that 10 tens makes 100. Let's just go ahead and double check to make sure. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. 10 tens does make 100. Now let's look at item B. 2 times 5 times 10 equals or is the same as 2 times 5 tens, which equals or is the same as blank. Remember in item A, I told you that we do what's in the parentheses first. So let's look at what's in the parentheses. 5 times 10. You can see that this is shown in the illustration here. Now this is a group of 5 because 5 ones makes 5. And like I said in item A, when anything is multiplied by 10, it shifts over one column and is indicated with the arrow and the multiplying sign by 10. So here we have a group of 5. It shifts over to the tens column right here. It's exactly the same illustration as you see above, right there. So you're probably wondering, why is there another row of 5? In this case, it's 5 tens because it's in the tens column. The reason why there's another row of 5 groups of 10 is because it does say in the math problem 2 times 5 times 10. So what they did was they took the 5 times 10 and they illustrated it where I have circled. Then they drew the second row of 5 groups of 10, and that's shown right here because we did this 2 times. So 2 times 5 times 10 is the same as 2 times 5 tens. And we already know that that makes 10 tens. And 10 tens equals 100, just like we counted in item A. Now let's look at item C. In this problem, we see 4 times 5 times 10. which equals or is the same as blank ones times 10, which equals or is the same as blank. Now 4 times 5 means 4 groups of 5, and I'll circle them here. 1 group of 5, 2 groups of 5, 3 groups of 5, 4 groups of 5. And 4 times 5, let's count those out. 5, 10, 15, 20. 4 times 5 is the same thing as 20 ones. Now it says times 10, which means we draw the arrow and write times 10. When we draw the arrow, everything that's drawn in the ones column shifts exactly the same over to the tens column. Now, take a look at what the picture looks like now. Instead of having 20 ones, now we have 20 tens. 20 tens. Wonder how much that equals. Well, I know that if I circle or make a 10, it would look like this. That's 20 tens. And when I was doing problems A and B, I learned that 10 tens makes 100. So I'll write that here. So 20 tens makes 200. Finally, let's look at item D. It says 4 times 5 times 10. Again, we will do what's in the parentheses first. Remember that 5 in 5 times 10 is shown right here because 5 groups of 1 is the same as 5. And then we have the arrow that pushes them over to the tens place, and we write times 10 because that's what it says right here. So I'll circle this. All we did was transfer the one row of 5 ones into the tens column because we multiplied by 10. But as you know, by looking at the math problem, it wants us to do that 4 times. So we have to have 4 rows of those 5. This is my second row, my third row, and my fourth row. So that's how come the picture looks the way that it does. Now look at the equation. It says 4 times blank tens. We have to figure out what goes there. Well, we know that this right here is 5 tens. So what is 4 groups of 5 tens? How about if I circle and make tens again? Groups of 10. Here's a group of 10, and here's a group of 10. And just like we saw in item C, 10 tens makes 100, and 10 tens makes another 100. So here we have 2 hundreds, written like this.